going through few of the questions, but now, as of now, the first thing which I wanted to assure is, please do follow the installation video. In case if you're following the installation video and you're not able to do the installation, for example, Pranjit now has dropped a message like, actually, I'm having concern regarding the continuation of the course, as my laptop total memory is 4 GB RAM. So what happens is, if you have 4 GB RAM memory and you are not able to do the installation as it is requiring more RAM space for 19C, I would suggest you to go ahead and do the installation of lower version of Oracle database. Okay, that is the first thing I would suggest, because it is going to occupy less space. Yes, and it will not bother your RAM much. I personally have installed 11G database in my laptop, where my laptop is only 4 GB RAM. Okay, so please go ahead and do 11G or 12C installation. 11G is more preferable, and do the installation. The installation steps are really very simple. The installer, the wizard which is opening, that is not going to have much of a difference. Okay, you can watch the video once, yeah, and then go through the installation. You can download from the same link. In the installation video, we would have directed you to go into the Oracle account. If you have an account, you can use the username password. If you do not have an account in Oracle, then you can create an account giving all the details. It is pretty much very basic details which it will be asking. Create an account and then click on download and then do the download. And just go to the setup file and double click it. Do not have to copy paste in the C drive as it is mentioned in 19C. Okay, this is exclusively for the latest version. In case if your laptop is not meeting the requirement, okay, in case your laptop is not meeting the requirement, please do go ahead and install the lower versions, which is pretty much easier. 19C, it is lot of things. It is little complicated to do the installation. That is the main reason we have given this exclusive videos to you. Okay, to follow all these steps. But 11G and 12C, all the lower versions, it is pretty much very simple. So please go ahead and do the lower version of installation. And for the uninstall, okay, in case if you have done, if you're stuck in between and you would want to uninstall and do a clean reinstallation, today after this Q&A session, we'll be rolling out an uninstall document. Go through each and every step and do the clean uninstallation of whatever database or how much ever your installation has happened. Okay, check all of the folders, whatever steps we are trying to delete, where in which folders and which registry, what and all are we trying to delete. Go and verify that there are no extra Oracle files existing in your laptop. Okay, make sure that you're not having extra Oracle file in your laptop, and then do start your clean reinstallation. That is the first point regarding the installation of Oracle database. The second thing is, people have come back on asking, I have a Mac laptop, I'm Mac and I'm not able to do the installation because it is not the same. Yes, for Mac, it is completely different process. So what we have done is, we have come forward with a document where you could follow the steps. It is a simple document where you could follow the steps. After this Q&A session, it will be rolled out for you as well. We've taken time to do the documentation and we have given enough screenshot because I was not having Mac. So I went through each and every step and then created a document for you people who are using Mac. Okay, the Mac users, you can go ahead and verify, have the doubts clarified with the installation document, which will be rolled out after this Q&A session. Okay, so there are two things which are going to get rolled out. One is uninstallation and the second one is Mac, for Mac users, the installation document. Okay, two documents. Okay, so this is pretty much about the installation. After the installation, if you still have any queries or any errors, try to post the error message to me. Okay, do try to post the error message instead of explaining me in English. Okay, because only when you say on which step actually you got what error message, on which step you have got the error, and what is the error message. These are the two things which probably you should be telling me, because if you're not telling me that, I can't help you. Okay, fine. Okay, Pranjit, you are asking me the installation procedure for 11G and 12C. It is not 12G, it is 12C. Okay, so it is going to take some time probably. I'll get into it, Pranjit, and give back the result. Like, I'll come back on your query. My system already installed MySQL, it will affect anything. Kiran, I have already told in the introduction call that if you have any other database installed in your machine, do not load your laptop installing Oracle database and trying to compress or load more on the database, two databases on your laptop, because anyhow it will only help in one day. It will crash your machine. So don't try to do that. Okay, don't try to do the installation of more than one database. It will just crash your machine. Instead, what you could do is have the database, just practice the queries there. You already have a database, an unlocked database. You can just start your practicing the query there. Okay, just open a plain worksheet and start practicing, because these are the statements which are going to be blunt, and it is always available for any of the SQL types. These are very basic queries which are going to help you. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to turn off the chat now, and we're going to come back on more questions. Okay. Okay. So let's address the questions which we have found in the Slido one by one. The first question, Kunal, I've already answered your question. The other Mac users also were asking the same question. Before starting any of the questions, see, I have done a filtration. I've gone through each and every question which was posted on Slido. Yesterday I have given the I have given the answers, and again today also I've gone through all of the questions individually. If the question is actually from an individual for a particular individual purpose alone, then I would not have added your questions here on the top questions. Okay, I have already answered it in Slido. Please go visit it and know the answers. Okay, in case I've posted one more question for your question, then please reply to me so that I can come again and we can discuss further in Slido. Okay, that is one thing. I have filtered these. Basically, these questions might help other users as well. This might help other users as well to understand what exactly is happening. That's why I filtered. And if there are any, to avoid any redundant questions, so many of you have asked for Mac users installation. That's why only one thing from Kunal I have posted, others I have skipped. So to avoid the redundant questions, I have skipped only the top questions I have taken. Okay, fine. So the first question, let's start. The first question, Mac users have already answered. Yes, please do wait. I'll roll out the documentation to you for doing the installation of Oracle database. Okay. And then the second one, Sendil, you have got the connection error. Okay. And it states as TNS could not resolve the connect identifier. So probably I want you, okay. So what happens here is you have tried the unlock. Okay, I assume that you have tried the unlock, and that's where after opening the database, after opening the particular one and unlocking the HR schema, then you're trying to connect it. You're trying to re-verify the connection. After unlocking the HR schema, you're trying the next step, the last query, which statement which you are supposed to run is this connection HR/HR or CLPDB. Please look at the spelling error here. Please look at the spelling error here. You are supposed to give ORSCLPDB or it is ORACLPDB. Please, you can drop the message once I unlock the chat. Sendil, please, you can reply on that once I open the chat. But I'm not sure whether this is an spelling error, typo error, or your PDB database name itself is ORACL PDB. If it is right, if the statement is right, okay, in case if your statement is right, then your connection is not established even after unlocking the HR, then probably we have to check the tns names.ora file. Okay, so I'll take it up once I open the chat again. Sandal, okay? Okay, the next one is yeah. Okay, the question is regarding varchar2 data type. Very good question, because I'm going to explain you something little more. Okay, character data type is going to have, we can't say it is a disadvantage actually, but what if your column is going to have data only of 3 or 2 letters, and it is always going to be alphabets? Imagine, what if your database table, one particular column, you're probably, we can assume that column is going to hold initials. Okay, initials. How many letters do you have for initials? 1 or 2. And always it is going to be in alphabets only. Yes or no? Yes, right? So obviously, the character data type is the best suited for the requirement here. If the column is initial, then obviously the best suited data type is what? Character data type. Why do we go for such kind of requirement alone for character? Why don't I give for varchar2? Yes, why don't I give for varchar2 is because, again, varchar2 might have all of the advantages, like it'll it'll accept the data and it will not it will not have a fixed space of occupation and all. But yet you can avoid the major thing of entering number or symbol. Yes or no? You need your initials only to be in alphabets. You don't want it to be in numbers. How do you do that? You're supposed to give character data type. I want it in only alphabets, then you're supposed to choose character data type, not varchar2, because varchar2 data type is obviously going to accept the numbers and the symbols along with the alphabets. So it is not like advantage and disadvantage. Don't see in only the storage perspective. Do consider what kind of data it will allow and not allow. Okay, so I think I answered the question. The next, moving forward, Shakti, I do understand that you're trying to do the installation in Linux machine, but I do not right now. I do not have an input for doing the installation. I've not done it yet, so I have to come back on your question. Why I have taken up your question here, because there might be other people who are actually trying to do the same. If you people are trying to do the installation in Linux machine, then I'll have to go and re-verify, check with my team for the installation details, and then come back to you. Please hold on. I'll come back to you on this. Okay. And then the next question. Shakti has another question, again related to materialized views. I think on day one, you would have seen lot of database objects, tables, views, triggers, procedures, sequences, so many you would have seen. What is this materialized view? Let me take a moment and explain you what is this materialized view. I hope my explanation would clarify your doubts instantly. Okay, so views, and tables. First of all, we are supposed to know about tables and views. What is a table? Imagine an Excel sheet. You're just selecting 3 columns and 5 rows. So this 3 columns and 5 rows, a box, that is how a table is going to look like. First thing. Second thing. Okay. The second thing is now it is going to look like that. But what are we actually going to store inside a table? Data. Second thing, what you have known about table is putting data. You're trying to store data inside the table. Number of columns and number of rows. Okay. So you are having a good clear picture about how a table would look like and what are the things which are available inside the table. Data. The values are available inside the table. Okay. So now that we are clear about table, so it will look like a tabulation and then we have some values. Okay. Come back to view. How does a view look like? View is nothing but a virtual table. What is this virtual table? Hindu, please simplify it. It is nothing but a query. What do I mean by virtual table is nothing but a query? You're trying to run a select query. You're trying to run a select query and you want that select query. You want to run it on frequently. So what it is going to be an most used query. So you wanted to store that query itself inside the database as a database object. You decide to store the select query, the big a complex or a simple select query, you wanted to save the query inside the database as an object. Then it is called as a view. So how does a view look like? It is actually a select statement. Okay. So now inside view, what do you have? Nothing. Because as mentioned in virtual table, so inside a view, it's actually a query stored as a database object, and inside a view, nothing will be there because it is just saved. Whenever you call the view, okay, for example, you have created a table called as employees. You must have already logged into the database now. So you should you should have seen the employees departments table and all. I'm taking a sample database data example. Okay, coming here, what happens is instead of employees, you're creating a view for this employees table. You're creating a view. Means like you're selecting only 3 to 4 columns and you're giving a conditions and all. You're selecting, you're writing a select query on a employee table and you're trying to save that select query as a
Recording in progress.
Select star from the table name. Instead of table name, what you do is select space star space from the view name. That is how you call a view. When you run the select query on a view, that moment, that instant, it will actually go and execute the select query and get the result and show it to you. This is the main reason why we are telling, that view is nothing but a virtual table. For a table, it looks like a tabulation and actual data will be there. But for a view, you have only the query. Whenever you call it, whenever you put that view in a query, whenever you refer the view, that moment only it is getting executed and it is populating some data in front of us. It is showing some data in front of us. So now that you have an idea about what is a table, what is a view, very good. Okay, so you have an idea about what is a table and what is a view. Coming to materialized view. So what happened a few days after this table and view and all, there was an expectation of why can't I store the data of the view? Okay, I have taken a lot of pain to write that full query, but bigger complicated select query, and I didn't want to lose it, so I have saved it as a database object inside the database itself, named as view. Okay, and now every time when I refer only, it will instantly, temporarily, it is showing me. What if I want to store the data, the result set of the view in the database? What if I want to store the result of the running the select query view? Okay, so result set of the view in the database along with the query, I want to store the data also, the result set also. In that case, it is called as materialized views. You are materializing the data of the view. So that is why it is called as materialized views. Okay, we have a good understanding about what is a table, what is a view, and what is a materialized view. Okay, we have understood. Okay, now we'll come back to the question. Will it be stored as a separate table? Yes. As I mentioned, it is not a table. You cannot refer as a table, but it will be stored as a materialized view, means along with the query, the data also, the result set also is getting stored, and the object name is materialized view. Okay. Yes, it is separate storing. Okay. If yes, then will these tables also be used again to generate the new views? Please clarify. Of course, you can refer a materialized views, but generally, this materialized views have one disadvantage. See, you're running this query and whatever result set you're getting, that will be stored as a materialized view. Okay. There is this disadvantage that you have to go and call this materialized view, make the materialized view, the view query should be executed again. Why should it get executed again? After a week or after a month, there might be your query result might vary. Okay, the view is a query, right? It is just a select query. Today, when I'm running the select query, I might get 10 records. Okay, and if I'm saving that as a materialized view, then the materialized view will be having 10 records. After a week, when I'm executing, calling the same view, the result which I'm getting is 101 record. I'm having 101 record as a result set. So what happens to this materialized view, which was run previous week? It is outdated. Your materialized views will always be outdated. It doesn't always get refreshed automatically. So what you have to do is, you will have to write a program to do the refresh of the materialized view. Okay, then only the latest, according to the latest data for that particular query, today I'm getting 10 records and tomorrow I might get hundreds, and after a week I might get thousands, and after a month I might get lakhs of records. So you want the materialized view to have the latest and updated data. Then not only after creating the materialized view, you cannot just leave it like that. It is like a small baby. Small babies are not left on its own, right or not? Children are not left on its own, on their own. What we do, we follow, we protect them, we be around so that they don't get fallen into a pit, or go into a fire. So what we do is the same thing. We have to keep on refreshing the materialized view. You can't just leave the materialized view as such. You just have to keep refreshing. Otherwise, the latest update might not be available in the materialized view. I think I have clarified all of your doubts, Shakti. So you should have an idea about table view and the materialized view. Of course, it is a separate object and it can be verified, but until and unless if you want the right result, if you want to use the materialized view, make sure the materialized view is refreshed and having the latest information, and then refer it. Okay. You keep on telling that I can refer it and all. Mostly, where does this materialized views are used? Why do we have this concept? Why do we want to have to store this result set as a separate database object? These are mainly used in the reporting end. If you want to use the database, like in the database, in the reporting end, you will have a database, and that database mostly will get all the data from the materialized view, all the latest information about you. We will keep on refreshing the materialized view, and the materialized view will have the latest data. Whatever is present in the materialized view will be referenced by the report. Okay, report is a framework, right? The framework that should reference the database table. Instead of referencing the table where the actual data is present and lot of data is present, where actually there might be few things happening in the table, updates and all might happening, the report will get stuck. If you're referencing the data which is trying to get updated, your report will get hung. Okay, so in order to prevent that hanging issues and all in your report, what we have done is we have developed this materialized view where it will have the latest and updated data. Okay, and mostly it will not be referenced anywhere else. So this report will actually refer the materialized view for all the latest information. Only when this materialized view is refreshing, this report is not supposed to be run. So on the downtime itself, you make this before anyone comes online and starts to run the report. You should make sure that your materialized view, not just one or two, all the materialized views should be up and refreshed. Okay, so once it is all up and refreshed for the entire day, yeah, or for one entire half a day, and up to noon or afternoon, so then they can start running their reports, and the reports will have the latest data, and it will not have any hanging issue because this is not an actual table where update is happening. This is a materialized view, and for a day, once we have already refreshed, the data are there and it will not be referenced or it will not be locked for any kind of manipulation activities like update, insert, and delete and all will not be happening. Okay, refresh is the only thing which we have to worry about. So this is something which you should know, to understand the concept. Why do we have all this sort of checks in the database? Okay, that's a good question. I've answered briefly so that everyone could gain out of it. Okay. Coming back to next question, Karthi Durasamy. Hi, while unlocking the HR user. Okay, you are trying to do the unlock. Is that a typo error? Because you have typed in AYSDBA, it is SysDBA, SYSDBA. In case not, just post it in the chat box once I open. Kati, okay, then we look into it. Okay. Taruna, okay. I'm not able to unlock the user, unlock the HR user. Okay. You're not able to do it, and why so? Okay, before you're not able to do the unlock, you have asked me a question: why are we actually unlocking the HR user? We have already promised and that you would be told all of it in brief. So sorry if you have not got the details in brief. I would love to make a assurance here of explaining a concept. See, there is this whole big database installed in your machine. Okay, databases are supposed to have lot of data. Okay, so what we wanted you to experience is to unlock a small one particular schema so that you can access all the relevant data under that particular schema. Okay, why are we doing this? These are the sample data. This is the sample database and it is having the sample data. Okay, Okay, this is a sample database and it is having a sample data where you could use and try to do the learning. It will make yourself comfortable to go and check the data and do. If you're going to delete or if you're going to create, what you would try to do is, first of all, you go check whether it is there or not, and then click on delete and see whether it has got deleted or not. Yes, that's what we all do, right? So that is why we are unlocking this HR schema, and that is why this is nothing but a sample database where you could have the sample data and we can try to manipulate and learn more things. Now, for practice purpose, we are unlocking this. So that is the main reason why we are unlocking this. And you don't have to repeat it every time when you are, logging into the database. First time when you do the unlock, it will be unlocked and it will be available. The next time is you go and create a connection to that HR schema, and every time you come, you just open and you can see all the data and you can start doing the querying part. Okay. You have tried twice and you're not able to do the unlock. Please do post the error message what you're trying, what you're getting, and so that I can help you with. Okay, Tarunam. So I've answered one of your question. I've told you why why are we actually unlocking it, and the procedure is plain as simple what has been mentioned in the video. Okay, so you will have to first try to update the TNS names.ora file, and then run few scripts in the backend. Okay, and by running those scripts in the backend, what you're trying to do through those scripts is nothing but, when you are inside your apartments, like for example, you reached your place location. Okay, let's not take an example of apartment. You have reached the railway station. What do you do to board your train? You're supposed to travel to the particular platform. If your train is standing in the platform number 4 or 3, you're supposed to go to that particular platform and then search for the train. You don't stand in the entrance of the railway station and search for the train, right? So the same way, what are these steps followed in the script? Why are we actually executing those things are nothing but, you're trying to navigate to the particular path, means particular from the route you're navigating to the particular pluggable database, and there inside the pluggable database only you have this HR schema, the sample data schema. Okay, the sample data are available there, so you are navigating there and then trying to unlock. Okay, this is one part. The previous step what you would have done is, you are changing the TNS, the connectivity file, TNS names.ora, because it is not having the pluggable database entry. So manually you are updating it. I would have explained how to do the manual update. You open the TNS names.ora file and you copy paste it and check everything is fine, and give the service name and the name of the entry, TNS entry, also relevant to it. Okay, and then clicked on saved and closed it. Once you change something in the TNS entry, like connectivity entry, you're supposed to come here in the backend and try to reload the listener. The listener control should be reloaded. That is why what we are doing is, after performing all of those steps, we are trying to reload the listener control and then going forward to the particular path inside the PDB, and then trying to unlock it. And once you've unlocked it, you're trying to connect to the HR from the backend. If it is connected, then well and good. Come out of the command prompt, close everything, the backend, and then log into your SQL developer tool. Do the connect by giving the username and password as HR, right? The connection, you create the connection, and then you start working on the queries. So this is what briefly you're trying to do. This is a procedure. Whatever you're trying to do is this only. Okay, if you're having any issues, try to post the issue and tell me what is the issue and where exactly, which step are you exactly stuck. Otherwise, I can't help you. Okay. Vijay. Okay, so you have asked me without knowing basic concept. It's being very hanging. Okay, Vijay, I think this workshop is actually for the people who have no idea at all about what is SQL. Okay, so the reason why you're feeling that you're not having this, it's a basic. First of all, there is no basic for this. Okay, we have started from the basic and there is no further more basic and all. So whatever is required for SQL learning, those part of database and data I have already covered in the introduction, the day one. I've covered whatever basics you need to know for this SQL learning. I've covered on day one, and then only I've kickstarted the SQL learning. Unlike wherever you go outside, you will not get these kind of data. Okay, these kind of topics. Okay, so this is the basic itself. Maybe the reason why you are feeling so complex is because it is too much informative for you and it is all new. You're supposed to actually accept what is a database and you're supposed to give it time to process it. Next to next topics are coming. You're trying to finish off all the videos. Don't try to do that. Go through a video, understand the topics. I have given examples for each and every technical things as well. I have not just given an example for a simple queries alone. I have given an example for even theoretical part, how you should imagine a database, and again what and all you need to know as part of database. All of these things, whatever is required for SQL learning, I have given some examples. Go through it n number of times if you're not understanding when you have visited once. When you did not understand, take some time. It is not mandatory that everyone will get it on the first go. Please go through it little one or two times. The second time or the third time when you watch, yes, you'll be more clear and you'll see, okay, this is really simple. You might get into a feeling that it is really simple and I am understanding it now. Okay, take some time and then watch it again if you're not following it. And if you're not following any of it, okay, if you're not following any of it, please do tell me which part are you actually failing to understand. Don't give this please give an elaborated details and all. This is too general question. Come back with a question, where exactly are you stuck? If you're not understanding in the first go, repeat it until you get it. Even then, if you're not understanding, come back with a question where exactly you are stuck. And for rest of all also, please do come back with proper question where exactly you're stuck and what is the help you need. I am absolutely fine. Even if it is the most silliest question, I will not consider that, because I had a lot of silly questions when I had this learning going on. Lot of silly questions. When I asked this, would it be so silly? Will they will they judge me? No, nobody is here to judge you. So please do ask, even though it is a very silly question. It is my responsibility to make you understand. That is on me. I'm ready to make you understand. But come back with a question where exactly you're stuck. I'll be there to help you. Okay. Okay. The next is Aditya, for how long the course will be available? As mentioned in the introduction call, again, I'm telling you for everyone, it will be available for 1 other week. It will be available for 1 other week. For practice, self-practice. Okay. Okay. Vinod, ma'am, I couldn't understand how data coming is. This data is from HR notepad data or it is generated from online? Vinod, I think I have already answered, but still I would take a pleasure to answer you again on this question. The database is already there and it is a sample database which we have downloaded from oracle.com. So it is going to have certain sample data. Okay, we have downloaded the sample database from Oracle itself and it is going to have some basic sample data. We are just unlocking it and using the data which is already available in the database. Okay, so whatever data you're seeing, employees or departments, it is already available in the database. You did not create a database, you just installed a database. Do remember that. Every one of you, please understand, you have installed a sample database from Oracle. You did not create a database. If you have created a database, nothing will be there inside. But this is a sample database which you have installed, and you're trying to use one of the HR user or HR schema where set of data are there, relevant data are there. So we are unlocking that particular part and then we are using. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do as part of this practice. Okay, for this practice, you need not go and see the other schemas and all, because this is more than enough and it has enough space allocated. That is the real reason why we are unlocking this particular schema, and then we are making use of this particular HR schema. Okay, good. So I think we have gone through all the questions which has come up in Slido. Okay, there are 2 people who are supposed to post me in the chat what exactly has happened. So you can start, and I'm going to turn on the chat now. Okay, I've turned on the chat. If you have any questions, just post it one by one. I'll be addressing it. Okay. Ma'am, this Lal Chandran, you're asking about can allow the PyCharm. This, no, I didn't get you actually. I don't know. Actually, what are you trying to say? Can you please elaborate it, Lal Chandran? Kathy, hi ma'am, my problem got resolved. I retried and got solved. Okay, Kathy, I'm really happy for you that it got installed, and then you can proceed further. Vinay, I want to know about indexing. Vinay, if you're looking forward for indexing, you have to understand that when you're trying to study a book, what you'll do, you'll just mark it as important. The same way, when you create an index on the particular column, then it is marked as important. Means every time when you query the particular, or every time when you refer the particular column, this index is going to help you. This index is going to help the query to retrieve the data faster. So when you post a question to the database, what happens is, if the query is actually referencing the indexed column, if your column is indexed and it is referenced in this query, means you'll get the answer fast. How do you get the answer fast? Because the column is indexed, means it is marked as important and it is analyzed. Once you say that particular column is indexed, it is analyzed data statistically. Okay, so the analyzed data, it is easy for us to retrieve the data and see it. So that's why the retrieval of data is fast when you refer the indexed column. That is one point. Second point, what you have to consider is, whenever you want to get the relevant data, then probably you should use the indexed column, because the indexed column is going to have the reference point of that particular record. For example, primary key constraint and unique key constraint. Those are the non-duplicate columns constraints, right? So those are the unique value column constraints. So what happens? These are unique. Hence, when you reference it, it is auto-indexed. Hence, the data will be all the entire record. What other columns are there as for that particular number, all will be retrieving faster. So regarding index, what you're supposed to do is, or to remember is, fast retrieval of data when the particular indexed column is referenced in the select query. It is going to this index, whatever is present, is helping the query to push the data, means to get the data faster from the particular table. Okay, Aparna, hi. You haven't read my question. Okay, one second. Okay, Aparna, I'm sorry I missed it. I'm really sorry. Okay, the script for creating table is already there. We were not taught OB how to create one. We just saw how did you run it and how it appeared. Okay, fine. So the first thing is, Aparna, it was ready-madely available, but I did give the explanation of each and every question query. Okay, so creating table statement script is not going to be shared because I want you people to watch the video, see the statement, type the statement in your machine, run it. Once you run it, try to save the statement in a notepad. Every query which you run, I want you to save that into notepad for your future purpose. Why we are trying to do, asking you to do this, because there is one major impact. Whenever you do the typing, even the smallest typo error, you will be popped out with an error. You will know how to read an error message, how to address the error message. Once you are put up with a error on your face, okay, I'm getting some warning or some error message. What is it? At least you will get used to reading an error message and get used to address the error message. That is the first thing what you are, what you are all put up for. That is why we are not giving the script directly. Why I have not given the scripts directly means because once I give the script, you are obviously going to copy paste it and run it, and it will give the result set, and probably you will understand whatever I'm talking about in the video, right? Everything will be seeming good, but when you type it, even the smallest typo error also will make you experience how it will be, experience how it is to have an error and how to address an error. That is the most practical thing which you are going to gain out of it. Okay, and the second thing is, at least once to understand what is actually happening, it will invoke you to type it. So pause the video, type it in the database, and if you, the best method to learn is to write it and practice. The same way you have to type it for yourself. By typing you will know, okay, after create I'm giving a space, after that I'm giving the word keyword table, and then a space, and then I'm giving the table name. Like that you will know what are you actually trying to do. That is the point. Okay, and the next question is, 28th session videos are very confusing. Okay, 28th, that is today's. Okay, I'm not sure what is confusing and you are feeling it is too technical. As I have already mentioned, please, you can go through twice also. Try to understand. Yes, if this is technical, the next day and all, it will be even more tough. Okay, what I would like you to do is go through it once again and try to come up with what or where actually you are feeling the difficulty. Okay, how and why are the tables created, how does it help, and how to even create is not explained properly. As I mentioned, now try to run the queries. Okay, I don't want to hold you on for longer time. Aparna, I've gone through your question. Villa, unable to log in, ma'am. Unable to log in, ma'am. What? Where are you not able to log in? Are you not able to log into the account, Skill Nation account, and you're not able to see the videos? If that is the case, please contact the WhatsApp group admin. Make sure that you are in WhatsApp group, and please contact the group admin for access questions. Okay. Mr. TJ, I have raised questions in Slido. Please reply. All of the questions till now, it has been locked. I think 1 hour back, they would have locked it. So before joining in this call, I have answered everyone's question. Okay, I have addressed everyone's question. If it was redundant also, I would have posted. So TJ, I think your question would have been already answered in Slido. In case if it is not answered in Slido, go there, check, and if it is not answered, then come back here and you can post the query here. Okay. 41 Richie Jason. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyhow, how do I open an installed Oracle SQL Developer Editor? Unable to locate it on desktop or on programs. Do we need to access it from program files? I think you would have downloaded the SQL Developer tool, and downloaded would be a zipped one. You can extract the file, and inside the folder, you will have the setup. You would probably have to do the double click and it will initiate the SQL Developer tool. Please refer the installation of SQL Developer tool. Okay, try to go and see once again what exactly is your issue. Then you can come back. Okay, so try to go ahead see the installation videos. It might help you. Okay, Pratima, hi ma'am. Okay, hi. No question. Please pose a question, guys. Aniseti, okay. Why we take Oracle SQL Developer install into system? Please clarify me. So if you are asking why you need Oracle SQL Developer install, means you have already installed the database. In case if you want to work in the command prompt, then fine. But we wanted to give you the flavor of what actually we are following in the corporate companies, because as part of Wipro Technologies and Caterpillar, I was using Oracle SQL Developer for the Oracle data to connect to the Oracle database. So why not learn the tool also? Why just learn about the database? Why just know about the SQL? So not just the language and the database, you are getting an extra benefit of knowing or how to use this developer tool and how to connect to the database which you have installed from a developer tool. And all of this would help you be a better in the SQL. Okay, so that is why. And Shalini, if I download Oracle 11G, will the syntax of it would be same. I'm even asking the MySQL person to execute the statements in his database. So it would be the same in Oracle 11G or 12C. Okay. Anil, I'm actually getting error in command prompt. SQL plus is not recognized as internal or external command or batch file. What should required to do now? Anil, please tell me one thing, Anil. Have you done the installation properly? Or did you face any warning or error message during the installation? If yes, you have faced some issue, then probably the installation of database has not been done properly. It has not been done properly. It would always raise these kind of issues. It will not recognize the SQL database. So all of these things might be the result that the installation has not been done properly. Please make sure that you are not skipping anything as part of installation. Okay, in case you have done everything properly and still you're getting this in the backend that when you're logging in and it is not recognizing, then you have to do a reinstallation. Maybe there excuse me, maybe there is an Oracle file which is present in your laptop from previously you have installed and uninstalled, or that uninstall did not happen properly. There are some residual files inside your laptop which is actually getting referenced, and hence it is not complete. It is a residual file. It is not able to launch the SQL plus. Okay, so these are the only two things which could cause this error. These are the only two things. One is either you have done some installation error, or you have left out some residual files previously in your machine, either this database or any database. Okay, so these are the two things which could lead you to this particular error. Okay, ma'am, Next is Jayachandran. Ma'am, when we want to see the table details as we use the select query, select star from, the details will be displayed. Okay, that's fine, ma'am. But can you show a live demonstration about the material view of data, ma'am? Okay, so you wanted to see how a materialized view would look like, and can you show us that? Okay, I'm not sure whether there is an existing materialized view actually present. Okay, so in the sample database, I have to create a materialized view and then query it and show it to you. I'll take this question, Jayachandran, and I'll consider this keeping it, and next session I'll be addressing it. Okay. Aparna, please don't be. That's okay. Okay, fine. Um, Asta Verma, my question is not reviewed. Okay, Asta, have I missed your query from? I think there was no query on your name. Okay, so I have not seen any queries because all of the questions here I have gone through. Aparna's was missed. That was my mistake. If not, can you please repost it here? Yes, I have sent and shared already. If it is present in the Slido, can you please go and check once whether it has been already no, answered, or have I questioned you back with some details? Can you explain like that? If not, if I have not replied there in Slido, please post your question here.